Hey, programming shit. Oh boy. We since the last stream, I noticed that I was mainly just doing fucking ECS X instead of just doing the game development side of things. So I decided to just stop, finish the ECS side of it, and then we can do the proper game. Now the DCS part is functional. Although I'm quite sure they'll have to implement a bunch of shites left and right. And let me just place on the fucking top scene. There we go. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the ECS system now is just a little more robust. There's a little bit more songs on it. And I miss this needs to be by default stuff. What I think we could do is the way I'm going to code most things. We're gonna have yeah, just random cube, testing cube, and we're gonna have nope. Let's add it through here. It's better, I guess. Come on. It's a unit script, mana behavior. Testing behavior. Okay, fine. Replace behavior. Right. No. What the fuck are you dumb? Like, the fuck? I just loaded. Testing. Testing? No. Yeah, it is indeed testing. Let's make like this testing grounds. And fucking my mouse. Thank fuck I decided to buy one. And it's just a matter of waiting until it arrives. And hopefully it's not a shitty ass one. Why complain? I don't think you should complain about something that is literally in the exact location that they need to be. Oh, I forgot the when it reloads the global behavior shit. This gets crazy. What the fuck are you talking about, mate? It just meant bunkers. It's the error thing is bunkers, yeah. No, there's no error. Right. What we're going to do at first is basically just get it so that I remember how. Yeah. So I remember how to use the new Unity input system that I've forgotten because the last time I used it barely was functional was what I think 5 years ago, maybe. It was in its infancy. Most of the things wasn't in there, and mostly for a second thing as well. Just so that I can get the functioning thing, and then I can translate it back to the ECS system. And I think that is the best way to do things. But let me donk directory core all So now let's change another directory. Modules. And the core is inside of the modules. So now what we do here is we add these fucking my eyes scripting. Then I was looking so down there. Only because it's an S, you know? And it's just A and then R. Just like goes from A, R. There's a very big gap in between one thing and the other. So, assembly definition. It's just core. Just so that shit doesn't have to fucking reload all the time, I guess. We have a reference to E6X. And also to E6X Unity. No. Where is there? God damn it, it doesn't work using the fucking things. Should be enough, I guess, for now. On the other hand, that is for later. Now, we're just basically gonna get fuck me, man. Having to remember where everything is a thing. Mostly because it's not here. Wasn't one of these yet, this one. Oh, it's back in some other window, which is not there either. There we go. Right. Please, for now. There we go. Basically gonna use the move one. What is the name of the tongue? Let's just put it as public just in case. It's in... Let me see if I find something in the input system dot... Give me things. God damn it. There's no suggestions? Are you fucking kidding me? There's no suggestions. What the fuck? This is just input action. Might be. Move. Move. There it goes. Now just fucking voids part, I guess. Then we move dot enable. Enable. This needs to be enabled for some reason. And then on public. Void update. Go. Delete. Var. Move value. This by itself should just work. I still need to think of a way to... Am I not in the correct method? Because I'm selecting the screen thing. That by itself is not enough for some reason. No, it's because I'm dumb. I forgot to get the thing. Ugh. No input system dot actions dot find action. Move. This by itself should be enough, right? I don't recall if I need to place what's her name? The player slash move in there or not. Oh yeah, I forgot to, was testing some other things that I forgot to change. God damn it, I forgot to change the music as well. Good, I guess. What is the complaints? Oh, it's because it wasn't the other thing. No, not here. It's the here? No. It's here. No. It's here? No. Is it here? Fuck. No, it's here. God damn it, play focus. I don't know why, but for me at least, this song is, the music is way too low. Need a new headphone as well. Gonna be the next song. Right after. Nope. Still doesn't work. See what I need to get to grips with the fucking tongue. No, that's not the problem. The problem is that I didn't add the thing to anything. Dumbass. So, right, yep, no works. I was gonna say, I don't like how it goes straight to 1. But it is the way of the beast. Because keyboard has enabled and disabled, so it's either 0 or 1. Right, so this is the minimum for movement detection. Yeah, sure, whatever. We can do plus equal. No, we need to do something different, if I recall correctly. It's for a new position should be it's interesting. Why wouldn't? Because I need to cast one of them first. Cast it to vector 3, buddy. There it goes. So this should be enough to move the goddamn cube using fucking delta time. Is it just me? Or if you use... Is it the rendering? I think it's the rendering. I mean, I'm not gonna say that the movement's smooth or whatever the fuck, but the rendering feels jumpy. Huh. Let me just test something. Is there a way for me to, on the camera, put this align with view? No, it's the opposite. It's align view to select it. There we go. Now, good cube. Nope. Can't I just grab and, no, it doesn't. I recall that there was a method for me to just grab and move as a whole. Hmm. No, this doesn't work. Yeah, it seems to be the rendering and not the... God damn, I know what it is. Bollocks. Let me just test something real quick. It's the... Is it? No, it's the rendering, that's for sure. I thought it was the fact that I'm using a projector on OBS in order to send the tongue. To send the image of the other monitor to my existing monitor. Let me dunk. Fucking... Hmm. What is exactly the issue? Okay, let me just test one thing. Change it to orthograph. Fuck. Still feels like it is the rendering, but shit. Why you complain? Sure. If you say so. Yeah. But now I can't see if it is rendering or not. Let's go back to the regular monitor. The real monitor. Not regular. God damn it. Nope. Nope. There it goes. Yep. It's over there. It's the... God damn, this is gonna be complicated then. This is gonna complicate things. Although, now that I think about it. Let me switch back to graphic to perspective. Yep, it is indeed the monitor. The fact that it's on a projector. It's smooth movement on the regular monitor. As soon as I place it on the projector, it's spotty movement. Oh, this is gonna be complex. Any. Hmm. Why do I why do I require so many complex ways to do things? If I wasn't doing this on a virtual monitor and outputting the virtual monitor, like a virtual monitor output to scene on OBS, which is open as a projection on my regular monitor so that I can see the virtual monitor, it wouldn't have this issue. But it's needed because, for example, if you do this here, this screen doesn't show up on, if I just capture the tongue here, let me show you. Where display sources, there it is. Window, no, that's wrong, that's wrong. Let me just add a new one here. Window capture, Whiteo, select the window to capture, rider, there it is. That is odd, man. It's so odd. If I disable test, yeah, there's just an underbar in there. Alright. So now it's capturing the window, but I opened the menu in here, but it's not showing the menu. But if you go to the regular one, although it's not gonna show because, oh, this is a good way to show it. No, it's not over here. Like you see how it's overlays the window capture on top of the monitor capture. And as you can see when I right click under here, you can see the part of the menu. But the rest of the menu is up here and it's not showing because it's technically on a different window, even though it's still inside the same window. And I fucking hate how OBS does that because it's stupid. And regardless if you use bits BLT or whatever the fuck, it doesn't capture. Not even here. I mean, in a way, if you stop and think about it, it's the software's fault that is creating a new window outside of the fucking thing just to show something, but still. My point remains. So I have to take that into consideration that some of the movements might be spotty. Although I'm quite sure that on the recording it should be fine. Right? Let me just... Command, it's the tongue. Let's place it in 1080p 60 FPS. There we go. Speed 5 or whatever. Yep, over there movement is mute as well. God damn, this is gonna be a pain. On Twitch, the movement is mute. I mean, as mute as it can be being captured, but what I see on my screen is not mute. Fuck. 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 1,000 times. Fuck. Damn it. Where could I do this? Humana. Well, that's one thing. Not ideal. Wait a second. Does Unity have issues with the window capture thing? This is the regular one. What about the new screen source? Open up. Let's place Unity in there. Is that the Unity window? I mean, like works. Okay, Windows 10 mode forces it to work. It doesn't show as well the window. Ah, oh, fuck me. It doesn't show the option. Like I'm right clicking right now. It should show the menu. As you can see down here, it opens up. Man, gotta be fucking hating these things. Gotta be fucking hating. I can't believe I need to fucking. There's no way in hell that I'm going to record my main regular fucking. What's the name? My main regular monitor screen tape. That's no fucking way, huh? I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. Oh, you're gonna have to develop like this. Fuck it. It's gonna feel weird. Alright. Okay, so this by itself is just enough. Now we need to look at all these things and create systems and components to make those work. Let me think. Well, we need something to. It's basically a line for each system. We need something that applies the position. Applies the position to the transform. So it would be a system that goes, if we have the position, if there's a position component, it applies to the transform. But only if the no, it doesn't matter. No, it does. It does. In a way. Does it? I'm quite sure that when you change the position here, there's other calculations on the inside because it's a property. And the fact that it's a property that is likely to have behavior inside of it. So it would be possibly better to just check if the position is not equal or whether that inputs an issue. System that only triggers when the position is changed. There we go. So it would be a system that when the position changes, I'm quite sure that it created a system for that. It would be I need to organize these better. There's a message system that triggers whenever a message is received. I mean, it triggers when a message is received and keeps the. I mean, I could kind of use this. But in a way, it's overkill. There's the phase system that just runs on a phase, and that's it. There's no reason, rhyme, or reason, it just does. There's a query system that runs on queries. Basically, every single thing that has a position or whatever the fuck. Which would be kind of useful for this one if we didn't take movement changes into consideration. How could we declare that a component has changed? Oh, I get it. I don't have an event system. I have a message system, and messages are different things than events. The immediate system triggers immediately as it receives a message. It's similar to the message system, but when the message system triggers, it runs something, it adds to a list, but it executes in the phase. It could be message phase system would be more descriptive. But I have nothing that triggers on, no system that triggers on a change. My previous framework, goddamn, I thought I was going to mainly just write the game code now and not the... and not the ECS parlor. Well, at least today there's no break. It's not gonna be a break. Because I ate before, because I started it later, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna fucking eat before the break. Before I start the stream. Okay, I would need to make an event system. The problem with an event system is that getting and changing the No, this is easier than I thought. Oh, is it? Nah. Nah, it won't be as... in a way. But still, it would happen. Nah. Because the query system, for example, it has methods that delays operations so that it doesn't fuck things up. It defers the operations to later. I could pass those operations to trigger the change of the system? But at the same time, no, it wouldn't be that much of a problem now that I think about it. Because due to the deferred things, it would trigger later, but I could even set the events to trigger as a whole. Huh. There's a possibility to delay the events being triggered to just get all at once, I guess. Although, yeah, it works, and at the same time, it doesn't, I guess. Oh, well. The best one that we could use is the message system, but then we would have to create a specific message just to trigger instead of just triggering the... fuck me, I'll have to create an event system. Not even that, have to implement the changes with the things. Oh yeah, I need a theme as well. Event system, I just go as this. The main problem is that... let's look at the thing from top to bottom, or technically from start to end. I'll need a way to query this, which shouldn't be that complicated. I just create a system that executes on every single time and checks this value and assigns to a thing. If the value is bigger than 0, it creates the value, otherwise it just doesn't. Or it could just pass directly, I don't know. So based on the value, it generates a position movement that would be this part here. And then if it has this component position, it adds to the original position, the position components. And when the position component is changed, it adds to the regular, to the transfer position. Right, so let's maybe defer the, what's her name? Let's go for the input first. Yeah, let's go for the input first. Where did I place input? It was here. And where is it using it? I don't know if it's too low, the fucking volume of the thing. Let me check. I'm dumb. I forgot to fucking mute the music. Now I'm hearing it twice. That's fine. Seems to be low enough to be on the background, but not take over the whole fucking thing. Right, how neato. So there's this. Why aren't you going? There he goes. So this one is a query builder. I was mainly using this to test things. And it's supposed to be player input. And it has a player input components, that is movements. But we could just directly do here, find the action, and then place the thing in there, but I don't want to, because it ties too much with the inputs. In a way, we would need a Unity input thingy, but then we wouldn't be able to query. What about a Unity querying thing that has messages, that triggers messages as the input is pressed? And then I thought there's way too many values on the that could be useful, right? For example, sure, most of these values could be derived. Why is it specific? Oh, possibly because X and Y is always a thing that exists. And it's just interpreted in many ways. I'm sure about it. Why is there very little to no nothing to? It's because I am dumb by using the wrong tongue. It's a vector. Dumbass, it's this one. With them big letter. So it has enabled options, action maps, active control. Most of these things are pointless, I presume. I mean, for most use. Input action phase, this could be useful. What is the... No, show me this. Disabled waiting. The action is enabled waiting for input on its associated controls. Oh, I see. Oh boy, why is there an explanation so big for just one value? Something wrong here. Performed an action, the action stops. By default, a button action performs when the control crosses the button press threshold. A input action type value, action performs on any value change that isn't the default value, and a input action type pass through, action performs on any value change, including going back to the default value. Notice that interactions can alter how an action does or does not progress through the phases. Find out whether it was performed, the current frame can be done with... this mouse, man, having to fight with the fucking computer is a pain about... Yeah, I know. Why isn't there game? Fuck me. Oh, I can't wait for the fucking new mouse to arrive. God damn it. It's because I'm trying to move the wrong fucking thing. Why is there a thing in here? What does this mean? What does this bar here mean? The fuck? Got it. Crank I'm done with was performed this frame. Yep. Input action was performed this frame. Right. So if we query this on every frame... Jesus, there's even a game up. No, it's not that one. I was wondering why there was a game object related to the input action. Type, triggers, processes, name, interactions, in progress ID, expected control type. Initial state check, enable clone, disable, dispose, magnitude is in progress, expressed. I hate the fact that it's... What was the issue with the XMLs? I fixed the issue with the C# documentation, but I didn't find a fix for the issue with Unity documentation. These should all be documented, but for some reason they aren't. Because why there's dump or whatever the fuck. Read the value. Was completed this dynamic update. This frame, dynamic update frame. Jesus. Oh, we have actions now. Cancel performance started. Bindings. Most of these would be useful for an options screen or whatever the fuck. Anything else wouldn't. And the rest is just like regular stuff. So yeah, there's not that much. I thought there was going to be more stuff, but there's not that much. So we could... We could do this in both ways. We could use an initialization. Yeah, I think that's the better way, isn't it? We could use an initialization system that assigns messages to the events of the buttons and triggers messages for then based on the button press. And then we have systems that query that will like wait for those messages. And then, because that's basically kind of how it works on the inside. And then as the messages are triggered, we update systems based on their messages. Ooh, did I ever do something? Oh, bollocks, I forgot about that. Did I do a system that allows for it to trigger on different messages? There's the message utils in here, but that's not how you do it. Oh, I see. I pass the message to the message system, and then it triggers on, it registers on the handler and triggers on the message. And then over here, there's the message that was received. A collection of received messages. The problem being with this, that since it's an input system and the input events are triggered based on the and the input systems are triggered based on the, yeah, this could be a nightmare, because let's say I press, now there's, although there would be kind of no way for me to press a button more than once per frame. Game apps is device that gesture. Input through two separate systems, one older, one newer. I know their system is built in the other is called input manager, but yada yada. The input manager, this input system package is a newer, more flexible system which allows you to use any kind of input device to control your Unity content. This is intended to be a replacement to Unity's classic input manager. It's referred to as the input system package or just the input system. Must install a yada yada installation process, input system package installer first to automatically deactivate the older Bluetooth system, yada yada. Start concepts. Maybe the concepts could help. Basically, there's the basic concept related to work with the input system, the related steps in the sequence. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Sequence of events that occur when a user sends input to your game or app. The input system provides features which implements these steps, so you can choose to implement some of them yourself. User device action map actions, your action code. Sure. The person playing a game using an app by holding or touching the input device and providing input. No shit. Separates the device and the consequence path is yada yada yada. Separates individual parts of an input device which each send input values into Unity. For example, game path control, yada yada. Actions are high level concept that describe individual things that a user might want to do in your game or app, yada yada. They use to perform actions generally have conceptual names. They choose the C2 project and should usually be for some run jump. Allow it to organize actions into groups which represent specific situations or set of actions that make sense together. Binding. Normal binds are combined control zone by means of the control pad runtime, and pad matches one that controls or feeds input into the bind. Controls themselves instead receive their input from their parse bindings and then return a value representing the composition of those inputs. Yeah, now that I think about it. Alright, oh goddamn it, flashbang. Boom. Fucking me eyes. Ugh. Otherwise I can see shite. My fucking eyes. No, thanks. Let's see, is there a way for me to still see that fucking thing now? Uh, way too much. Uh, uh, nope. Kind of. At least you can do this. Right, so as pointer, device is input statement in which device and control is assigned a role memory chunk to start state. Update devices the manager pushes new memory into state block. This is way too low level. Yes, no, this is way too low level for this part. I hate when you click on things and they just open in a different image somewhere on another tab. Right, so maybe it's this one. For input user, yeah, the input action assets, devices. There's the action states. It goes to controls, space, keyboard. That's just the same fucking. They're kind of using things interchangeably, these tongues. Besides dealing assets. Input manager dot on updates. Notify control state changed. Trigger states events. Backend codes. Input bugs can be fixed by update to Unity or other new version. The input system interfaces with the native backend using events that a native backend sends. These events notify the system of the creation and move of input devices while any updates to the device states for efficiency and to avoid creating any garbage. The native backend reports these events as a single buffer row. Discussing data back to the native backend, blah, blah, blah. We'll have input system code processes interprets the memory from the event stream that a native back, yada yada. Input system, no, it's not here the behavior that I want to understand. No, maybe the last part of the high level system, because build another abstraction is meant to be controlled. No. The input system then monitors these controls for state changes and notifies your game logic using callbacks. It can also specify more complex behavior for actions using processes which perform processing on the input data before sending it to human interactions, which lets you specify patterns of input on a control to listen to, such as multi-types. This could be interesting. Interaction represents a specific input pattern. For example, hold is an interaction that requires a control to be held for at least a minimum amount of time. Interactions drive responses and actions. You can place them on individual bindings or an action as a whole, in which case they apply to every binding on the action. At runtime, when a particular interaction completes, this triggers the action. Oh, I see. Right, fire action, input action fire, at binding and buttons out. What interactions tap and slow tap? Tap fires, slow tap charges, both acts on release. Fire action start at context. Context lock interaction is slow tap interaction, serial charging UI. Performed. Slow tap interaction, charged fire. Interaction binary action, default direction applies to the binding. Tap action of the following behavior. As soon as the bound control becomes actuated, the action goes from wait into started, and then immediately to perform, then back to started. One callback occurs and input action that started, followed by one callback and input action that performed. For as long as the bound control remains actuated, the action stays in started and triggers performed whenever the value of the control changes. That is, one call occurs to input action that performed. When the bound control stops being actuated, the action goes to cancel and then back to waiting. One call occurs to input action that cancel. Right, so started is used to identify that whatever action, whatever oh boy, what a nice sneeze. So started is indicated, is used to indicate that whatever the fuck action start, goddamn, another one. So sneezes, what the fuck? One callback occurs and input action that started followed by one callback and input action performed. So started is when the thing recently did the operation. Performed and is when the operation changes value. It's when the action changes the value. So if, let's say, the analog joystick is not pressed, as soon as you move it, it triggers the started to say, hey, this control changed, and then moves to perform to say, hey, this is the value of the control. If you manage to hold it, like, for example, you go straight to the right, it triggers start. Yeah, it stays started. It stays on the started part. When you change the value again, because it performed, it triggers performed, but it doesn't trigger started again. Is that so? Right, it doesn't trigger started again. It just keeps, as the values keep moving, it triggers performed, 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 as you change the values. And when you release the joystick, it goes back to 0 or something. It goes to canceled. Or could it be that is odd? I mean, I understand, but it feels weird. Wouldn't be hard to test how this works. Let's do move dot started. It was started, performed, and canceled, right? Yeah. And then there's the waiting as well. No, waiting does fuck all things. And we see those values in the input action type, right? Which was that one that I looked into and was just a bunch of this one. This value, no, it's not this one. It's the another one. God damn it. What was that? There was something else here. It's the input action phase. No, that's the wrong thing. What was that though? Oh, I think it's a video. That's an old meme. Yeah. I need to remember to cleanse my. It's an old meme in Brazil. Alright, Control Bane, and then Control Bane. Okay, this is disabled. Say that the action is not enabled. No shit. Waiting. Waiting for input to associate the controls. started, performed, cancelled. So it starts, it triggers the performed, and when it stops, it triggers the cancelled. And then goes back to waiting. But there is no waiting trigger because it's basically after the cancel. Let me see. No, it started. No. Yeah, I can basically do this. It's enough, you know? It should be enough for us to test and see when exactly does it trigger and when it doesn't. I hate that sometimes you need to fucking do the thing twice just for it to work. Okay, I'm gonna press and hold. If I just press, it does started, performed, and cancelled. Right, as expected, because I pressed and I released. If I just hold, see, as I expected, as the value is still there. If I press like other, like if I go WASD, it doesn't trigger start again. It just keeps triggering performed. Because it's changing the value. I got it. Got it. Which means, yeah, it started, just goes, hey, whatever the fuck it is, it started. The action was pressed, the button was pressed, regardless of where to. So if I just keep moving, it just keeps triggering it. Can I just use my controller here? Because the controller will allow me to see the behavior in between values, which I still think is... Come on, you fucking thing. Where is your... There you go. Come on. I'm trying to connect the cable opposites, not Type-C. Oh shit. Oh, I hate the fact that this control reason doesn't work with Bluetooth on my computer, even though there's Bluetooth support for it. Is it here? Yup. Is it not detecting the device? The device. Well, let's presume that it detects. It does. It really does. Right, so I touch it, and you see how it did two performance instead of a single one. Mostly because it changed from one value to the other. But as I move it slightly, yeah, only when it goes to resting, it gets to be... Only when it goes to resting to 0, 0, it does it's weird having the possibility of moving it slowly. This is weirdly something that I am still not used to. Mostly for not playing on consoles. On consoles for... Mostly for not playing on consoles. Yeah, that's it. Why is this scale as 1.5? What the fuck? Oh, it looks so weird. It looks so jumpy. See, it jumps a pixel on my screen. Alright, good to know that it just detects the controller by default. Let's put it at 1.5 instead of... Oh, it's gonna be fucking... Can't I set a value to this? instead of just arbitrary 1.5. Ugh. I see. Right, so maybe with this VSync it kind of fixes a little bit. Not by much, but the fuck is simulator? Oh, no donkey. It's been a while since I've seen these things. Ooh, there's a very intricate frame debugger here. Me liking. I don't think this was a thing back in the day. There's only this sound thing here. I let it paused up because the frame debugger. Right, so I just put my controller to the side. There's no need to keep it connected. So a way we could do these is just by having this. No, this is context or something, right? Something like that. Wasn't it like no dumbass? It's like this. It's been a while. There we go. Now, why is it on here instead of here? That's odd, isn't it? That is odd. Oh, dumbass. It's because it's over there. I didn't see the tongue here because it was so small. Now it works. So the context is what kind of object is it? Callback context, sure. This phase, all these informations, yada yada. Right. We could use these events to trigger in the system. And as it's triggered, it sends a message or updates a component or whatever the fuck. We could do it in both ways. Either it's a system that keeps querying it, which I dislike. But as you can see, they started performed and they just... I would possibly trigger only on performed instead of started and cancelled. Because it's... Transferring this, like, I think the hardest part is thinking how to transfer the behavior initially, but after you transfer it, it's just like second nature. But at first, it feels weird. How do you connect a system that is dynamic to an ECS system in order to emulate that dynamic behavior without behaving weirdly or behaving incorrectly? Oh. Thoughts. This song, it's nice, but I don't want sounds. No, let me just remove it now that I think about it from the stream playlist. There's a problem with this one is has vocals as well. Yeah, I keep forgetting the stream music shouldn't have vocals. It's kind of an OST before. This is fine. Right. We could have a monolith component that is updated with values, but that kills the behavior. Let me think. Is it better to think from bottom to top in this situation or top to bottom? Do I think first what will be consumed and later how to provide it? I think that's the best option in this situation. Messages would seem to be the best option, but the problem with the messages is that they can be triggered more than once, which is unlikely. Like, are you able to perform an input twice per frame? Or I check on each one every single frame and see if they are doing something or not. And if they are, I update the value. I think I know it. We should emulate the way the input action system works with messages. And for example, have a message for movements, a message for jumping, a message for a button press, and shit like that. And then we'll listen to those messages and do things based on those messages. I think that's the best option. Oh, I just learned something. I just remembered something. The immediate system. Goddamn, it's not in the monitor. The immediate system has no order and it doesn't need one because it's executed at once. How the fuck am I going to? Oh boy, I need to rethink how these things work. Just find a way. Because immediate system should not be executed. Oh, I know how. I know how. I could change it because the systems have something called an execution policy. Yep, I could use an execution policy to not execute the thing. And I will have to use the God damn it, this is intricate, man. I think about the execute base, the here on message received needs to react to the execution policy, and if it's paused, do nothing here. It needs to, since it executes it at once, it needs to behave in a manner that does not work normally, because all the other systems are executed in order. But the immediate system has no order. It executes as soon as it's triggered. So we'll have to create an execution, like for example, there's the default execution policy that it's not paused. It executes one time. You can't set anything on it because it executes only once, because it's the default execution policy. There's no reason for a system that is on the default to execute more than once, and mostly because these values are fixed, if I recall correctly. And there is the pre-execution and post-execution for execution of the system in case it needs to do something before or after. And the way that the timed execution policy works here. It's in the timed execution static class. It's just kind of a mess, but it works. It's a compact unit. So in the timed execution policy, we have timer data. It's basically to work in a manner that ticks a kind of a ticker. And as he executes, eventually it will be unpaused and will trigger an execution based on the it's modular in a way. It uses the update system of the ECS framework in itself to provide, god damn it, I really need to buy a fucking headphone. To provide inner working for a timer. So I just hacked inside of it. So it triggers an update and it triggers on the order of timers, which is very low on the execution order. And it's fun how you declare the execution order and things, the way I implemented it. Because, for example, there's the Unity package that provides extra functionality for Unity. And so the Unity, it executes after the first execution order. And the timer executes after Unity thing. So when it adds things to it, it just checks if it should be there or not. Although now that I think about it, I just noticed that there is a bug. Fuck. If I add the timer first and the Unity last, if I add the system with timer first and the system with Unity last, it's not gonna connect properly. Because it's using a chain node. There's some easier to explain through this one. It has a definition, which is that thing, and then it's a node that has a connection to the next node and the previous node. So it basically just goes, hey, is the Unity, when it adds the timer value, it just goes, is the Unity value here? And if it is, it connects after the Unity value. If it isn't, it's just there. No, it works. Dumbass. I forgot about it, the way I implemented the thing. If I add the timer one, it's gonna implement the Unity one. No, it won't work. It has an after. I forgot to implement this part here. Yeah, I forgot to implement this part. Sheesh. Let me see, where's the location? I could change this. It's on the nodes, node chain, right? When we add to a thing, insert after nodes not equal to null. Do I need a situation into which... let me see. No, the after node is gonna be null. And it's gonna set on the next one. Fuck. Because the... God damn, I just noticed this is a very big mistake. The first thing just adds new to it and has nothing. The way to fix this is by adding to the node thing. It's either node or inode. No, it's to the node one. No, that's not it. Because I can't just add this inside of the node class because the node class is supposed to be a type. I shouldn't know about the behavior first and last. Oh, I know. I could use the name of the nodes to check. Yep. I could use the name of the nodes to check. It's gonna be on the... Or is it on the node definition? Inherit... Why does the node definition has a value like this? I don't get it. Why does it have this? Because T is not used in there. I mean, sure, it's to... Yeah, I think if I remove the generics, if I remove the generics, it gets everything connected to the same fucking class and it becomes weird. If I add the generics whenever I create an execution order, the execution order is a node definition class in itself separately from every other type of node definition. Yeah, that's why. So I should then add it here. Public const string. Nope. First, unless. Right. So if an execution order have first and last, and these add the names there, although we could be specific by doing this dot first. It's gonna be the same name, it doesn't change anything. Well, what are you complaining about? Explicit argument pass to parameter recaller info attribute. And? Oh, it's just because there is the caller member name is complaining about it. Shut the fuck up. On this one, we press the last just to guarantee that it's connected to these. So if we in the future decide to change these names or how the fuck knows what reason, we can just have them here. So when we do this, it's after first. It grabs the node definition that has that name. And it basically places it in here. Just go, hey, this thing goes after the first chain. Now we go to the node chain. This inserts the node. This one is in case there's only a single node that adds both nodes in there. As the first is equal to if the first is not equal to the last one, it sets the last as the next to the first and sets and it adds to the first to the thing. Otherwise, it sets the first to first and last to last. If it is the same, it's gonna both are the same. And it adds the last as a definition to the node's name. Tongue. Why are you complaining? Yeah, but it can be made random. Sure. Disagree. Could be useful to know the first and the last. It is useful to know the first and the last one. Righto, now we need to think into a situation where the timer is added first. If we add first the timer, from what I remember correctly, when we create the node chain, we create the node chain and pass the first node to it. So it means that the first node is going to have these values. It's going to have the timers one, which is only going to have after unity. But since it's not going to go through since it's the first one, it doesn't matter the order because there's no need to check if one exists or not because none exists. Oh, I thought I was gonna just do the programming side of it, the game program, not the game logic and not the ECS again. Why did I not see this issue first? Bollocks. Right, so we add the timers first for some reason, and then we add unity after the tongue. So when it looks into the after, we can just do a initial case that just checks if it's after or if it's right. This, for example, if we add, like, for example, here, after first, before, after first and before, no, before, last and after first, it's gonna enter this tongue, and it's not gonna find any of these because because there is no such a node called after, and there's no such a node called last and first. That's why we need to check if they are the first or last or whatever the fuck. Which, now that I think about it, could fuck things up because in case someone decides for some reason to create a fucking thing that has the name as first or last, it's gonna fucking break everything. It's gonna break the chain. Right, we need a situation where the name before or after is Ah, vocals, man. This music is nice, but vocals. It fucks up my. Oh, god damn it, there's way too many songs in here that have vocals. No. Come on. God damn it, crashed. Why is it just everything blinking? What the fuck's going on? Right. I'm looking at this and only before exists. Insert after before node. I know that this is correct, but feels weird, the explanation. I don't even know why the comments are in there. Should I just add a case in here that checks if after is first and before is last? Man, doing architecture is a pain. I wonder if I should put those checks before. Because now that I think it's a special situation. Yeah, it's a special situation. It's something that's not gonna happen that much. If after nodes dot no. After nodes. Oh fuck me. Because I need to check if it's null or not as well. The problem is that this one is if either one of the both are not. Oh, so many situations, man. Because the whole thing is, if timers is added first, like who knows what weird reason, Unity is not gonna be added correctly next time. Because it's searching for the first one. And the first one is never found because it doesn't exist. I could have a pseudo first. Could that be a solution? That could be a solution. I would add something like an internal first and an internal last. And then assign those definitions, although, in a way, no, I can, now that I think about it. Kinda like here. See first. Yeah, gonna complain. Oh, that's a bother. And it doesn't satisfy the thing as well, right? Because over here T node is I node. What about if we do that, it just fucks up things here as well. Yeah, I think the best solution is to have a pseudo first and last. And then instead of calling this, we just call insert node. And it just handles it and does whatever the fuck. Yeah, I think that's the best way. Although I fucking despise it, but still. Between nodes. External. Do I need to, can I assign it to you? Oh, bollocks, I can't even assign to it. It's gonna complain with the, oh, it's not new, yada yada. Yep. Well, sucks to be whatever the fuck is in there. Although it's gonna defer to other things in there because it's gonna be, hey, there's no parameterless constructor on this fucking shy of a. We could have an internal one just for shits and giggles. Well, what is the complaint? Oh, fuck's sake. It's an internal here as well, too. Why not? We won't be able to assign the value afterwards, though, because it's a read-only thing. Ugh. What seems to be a solution, so much nonsense added around just to make it work. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good idea. Fuck me. Yeah, it's gonna remove the read on. Why's the order node in the phase data? Fucking weirdo. Fuck off outside, buddy. There we go. What is change? Oh, the changes that was removed. No, there's no need for this as well because it's bollocks. It's dumb. This stays. OBS, don't crash. Fuck you. There he goes. Date my fucking window. The best option would be to define a tongue in here as first and last. Because I won't need to define it in here. Right? Yeah, I think the best option is that. Although when we mess with the node chain, we won't be messing with the thing because we're going to be messing with the inode, and it just doesn't matter regardless. But there is the advantage of not having to define first and last on any of the things that we create, right? Yeah. Yeah. The read-only. See, first and last, complain that there is no new. We add the new one in here. Execution order is gonna. Oh, I can complain. It's just, I don't know, just to make it stop complaining, or just add a private one in here. Execution order, and it doesn't complain anymore, does it? Must be a oh fuck me. Must be a non-abstract type with a public parameter list controlling R2 as a parameter. So as long as we set this to possibly internal, it should work. Fuck you, man. What if I do this? Nope. See, there's so many problems. This is one of the things that I hate most about C# is the fact that I always think, I think it can be solved doing this, and then the language doesn't allow me to do it. And I just think, why the fuck doesn't it allow me to do it? And then I think it's bonkers, and then I look everywhere, and I say, hey, is there a way to do this? And there's just always a guy just going, nah, man, this is crazy bullshit. You shouldn't do that. Do it my way instead. And then and then I just think, oh, god damn it. But the funny part is that every single time that I think that a feature should be available in C#, 3 or 4 years later, with a new C# version, the feature is there. And I think, huh, turns out I'm not so crazy after all. Turns out I'm not so bad shit insane. Alright, let's do this out of here. Fuck. Okay. Shouldn't I just pass first as being before, last and last as being before first? Would that create a situation into which it's circular because the first needs to call the last constructor and the last constructor needs to call the first constructor? Could it be that just this fixes things? No, it doesn't. Because they are never added to anywhere. Yeah, the solution needs to come in the node chain. I could implement it inside of the node though, but the thing is that regardless of what the definition says, it doesn't mean that the node will always be connected directly side to side to the thing that it just wants. It will just be connected somewhere along the chain. Because let's say that we have another one in here, like in here. Let's say that we have another one here that goes after Unity. Regardless of which one that is connected, like let's say they have here game loop, and game loop is after Unity as well. Regardless of which one is added, as long as Unity is there, it's gonna go after it as well. So it doesn't matter. But the problem lies in the fact that if it's not there, it's gonna fuck things up. I mean, things are gonna work if I don't use them properly. That's the reality of this stuff. So with this, let's at least otherwise I'm gonna lose a bunch of time in here. And I myself am quite sure that I'm not gonna use it improperly. But it could be a situation into which shit's gonna go weird. It's not gonna work for who knows what reason. I know that I'm going to use it correctly. That's the thing. I know. I don't know if others are going to, but I know I am. Let's check here first. There it goes. Bright blue. The method doesn't properly handle late additions. Any issues with this class? Check here first. And let's pretend that it's fixed. Even though I didn't do anything, but otherwise we're gonna fucking waste our fucking time in this. Right, why the fuck did you change? So grounds, those don't need anything. We just changed the nodes and the system. What did we change in the system? So we added the naming and the caller member name. There's the order node is changed somewhere else. Remove, sure. God damn, if I use this, I'm gonna have to. No, wrong option on stage all. Just need to stage the libraries. Problem is that whenever you do this, it fucks up. No, it didn't, for some reason. Although now I think I found a fix for this. What was the last tongue? Oh, let's amend the last one. It should be fine. It's fine. It's no problemo. We just force push the gates and it's just, that's it. It just works. It just works. See, it works. Righto. Now we pretend that this is not an issue. And that this is not going to bite us in the ass in the future. Right. We were wondering what to do with the inputs. Right. So each one is going to be a component so that we can have control over them. The way I think it should work is that these components are unique in its thing, although there's still a situation in which we need events for when a component is changed. Um, can I do this in some other way? Though I really need the event for when a component is changed. Because the problem with this is that when a component is added, it's only called a single time in an entity wrapper. Fuck me. Which means the most of the time it's not called through here. Oof, now that I think about it. Most of the time it's going to be through here. Through the create entity, which eventually goes into the archetype manager. And goes through here. When we add a new entity, the problem is that when we call this, we call it through the remove. For example, when we remove a component, that's simple because we are removing a component, extracting the what? Why is it passing void then? Oh, this is the archetype manager. It's fine. It's correct. It's no wrong. Not crazy. Right. When we remove a component, we get the archetype, yada yada. We remove from a thing, remove the components from the bundle, and then we add the correct archetype. Or basically just like doing a remover from part to the other. The thing is, the adds to correct archetype adds the entity to the archetype. The fact, though, is that when we add an entity to an archetype, doesn't mean it passes the bundle as a whole. And the problem is that it doesn't have any information of which components inside of the bundle is the new one. But it would be kind of a nightmare to mark which one is and which one isn't. And even then, it could even be the fact that there is not even a single one that is new. Nope, not there. Here, it could be that it's just all of them pre-exist. There's no access to context here? No. Yeah, I think it would have to be a message. Oh, let me think. How about having a default value, a default input message, and the input message has values that we set, although, every single time that there is an input, there will be like so many changes. Let's do it through the message system for now. Kind of don't have a choice. I would have to implement like a bunch of other shits just to have this working, but I'm just, no donkey. No donkey. Let's move the player inputs towards the core. Yeah, sure, buddy, complain. Cry a ballsy. Move to modules.core namespace. No, this one should not be a namespace provider. And we are going to, here, add an input. Or just systems. It could become a mess later, though. We could add systems input. Yeah, it's the best way. Anything related to input, you can just fucking throw it in. Just okay. Although I would still like to separate things into pure systems and systems that are glue. For a specific reason. Bollocks, the game loop order. Oh, guess who's going to be promoted to the core? No errors now, right? Yep. I wanted to differentiate systems into pure systems and glue systems. Pure systems are going to be something like the position system. And it's going to be what can be just removed and used somewhere else without anything else along with it. But I don't want to do it as... I could just change it though. Instead of systems here, I can just have a pure one and a glue one. Yeah, let's just rename this. Pure systems, although this one is going to be a glue system. Because let's say that I'm doing any other game. And I just go, oh, bollocks, there's this exact same behavior in another tongue that I use, another game that I created. So I can just go here and know that if I'm grabbing something from the pure system, I can just grab it, remove, place somewhere, works. There's nothing that needs to be changed much. It can be just extracted by itself and it just works in there because it doesn't depend on the it doesn't depend on the inner workings of the game or the game behavior. The glue systems are going to be things that connect pure systems with one another. And the glue systems are the ones that introduce the behavior of the game. The pure systems exist only to allow for the glue systems to interact with the engine or do basic stuff. And most of the time, it's unlikely that I'm going to get a glue system and move it to somewhere else because it's specific to the game, unless I need that very exact same specific functionality. And then I grab the glue system and the pure systems it connects to as well. All right, so this is gonna be here, but this is yeah, this is player input. It should, I'm quite sure, not be query system. Is there a way that I can design an input system that behaves in a manner that creates things automatically based? Ooh, that could be interesting in and of itself. But how will I do it? The problem is that it would have to, it will need to be a pure system, a phase system, and it will need to check every single frame to see if the input is there or not, which sucks, sure, but kind of behind the scenes, Unity is doing that as well. Um, I'm quite sure that I can create a dynamic system that creates these things by just changing a name. Automatically creates the messages, creates everything, just creates the thing, I guess. I think. Where's my light? Man, outside must be so good. Let me just open the window for a second. God damn, it's not 100%. I mean, it's quite, it feels so refreshing outside. I'm gonna leave it a little bit open for a while. Thing is, most of the time outside is a bunch of fucking noise. But if there is something that Brazilians seem to hate, current Brazilians at least, because back in my day it was so fun. Current Brazilians seem to hate fucking. No. Current Brazilians seem to hate fucking. Oh, think about it. Possibly abstract. Units. No, 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 you dumbass. You fucking stupid ass dumbass. No, 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 this should not be there. It should be in here. Here. Systems. Yeah, fucking. I'd rather go inside a class that exists and just do this. Abstract class Unity input. Sure. Why not? What the fuck's going on? It's a pure face system. Whoa, I was gonna say, why is it not complaining? There's no need to. Ooh, it should not be in here. Oh, this song has fucking vocals. But I'll allow it. It's way too good to be removed. Because that one is input. So whatever system that calls this is going to be input. What we do now is we do a public. I don't think public is required. Protect should. What the fuck? Did it drop the connection? Did I lost internet connection for a second? Yep, apparently yes. There is one unstable event for 5 seconds. But it was way back when. Bound to be another stable event then. Let's see. Yeah, it was half an hour ago. That's all. This string appears to be experiencing some networking and encoding issues. Network, I suppose. No, there's no specific issue. Odd. And go back. Oh, no. Go back to the screen you were, you dumb ass. Stop bothering with the latency, you fuck. Get away from it. God damn it. Close. There we go. Right, so now we have a protected one. Abstract. And it's a string, and we call it input name. And we do a get. And afterwards we do, let me think. We're gonna need the initialization. And we're gonna need private. No, we can't be read-only. Input. Why are you complaining? Do I not have access to the tongue? Yep, apparently I don't have access to the tongue. But system for UI, it's this one. Forgot that it's a package. Recompile. There you go. Is it done? No, because it's broke. Oh, it's not gonna fucking do it because it's broke. It's broke. It needs to fully compile so that it just connects the tongue in there. Hate when that happens. No issues. Now it should private input action. There it goes. And input action. Now we override the initialization tongue. Let me then return the base initialization because as far as I know, there's nothing there. Correcto? Just returns true. Let's see. We just extract to this one. Let's go somewhere else, and that one stays weird. No, it's fine. Writer, no need for that anymore. Now over here, we find the action with the input name. Let's place it as null. Return. No. It's not null. Righto. Now we execute shite. What the fuck are you talking about? I forgot to. Oh, let's go over there. Let's go here. It's this one. Let's go over here. Yeah, it's called here. If not initialized, it shouldn't just return. It should complain. That's what I forgot. Just returning does nothing. And the braces. And it's no, we can't use debugging here. We shouldn't have access to the Unity engine here, although we do, but I'm just using otherwise just crashes everywhere. Eventually I'm going to remove the whole CSX package from when it's more mature and doesn't require changes every single fucking minute. But I should try to keep Unity classes as much as possible out of it. Right over here. We could do a trigger, although I'm quite sure that we don't have that event. But it could be something that we could use. That's a good idea. It could be something that we could use to connect with the Unity package side of things and have a debug method thingy that just does stuff. I could have an event here. So that we could trigger things on. Fuck me. On Unity, for example. Regardless, we possibly throw. Fuck you. And there's no need for return because shit's crashed. Should be enough as a fix. And let me just push that fix as itself. Why are you complaining about module score? God damn it, there's a bunch of renaming shit. Fuck me. Hate when this happens. If I on stage, it's gonna fucking crash a bunch of shit, isn't it? Ugh. I don't know, never tested it. Now that I think about it. Who knows? Let's keep it there. This is not. Why'd you fuck up the tongue in there? Fuck you. Fuck you, man. I can't wait for the mouse to arrive. And hopefully it's not gonna be a shitty ass mouse. Funny thing, the mouse that I bought, the one that I'm using right now, is less than $10. Because Brazil. It's expensive in a way, but it's less than $10. I mean, it's expensive for me. But the one that I bought is around $10. Hopefully, it's not gonna fucking. I can't believe this. Sometimes when I think about those things, it's sad, but sure. Alright. This is basically, hey, we didn't find the action you're talking about, buddy. What are you talking about, man? And we'll also have to do this. See self, so that we create an tongue. No, just where see self. There it goes. So that we create a when we do this, this is an interesting maneuver. When we do this, we make it so that every single class that derives from this one is a separate class in itself and has a separate base class. We could, for example, declare something like thing. We could, for example, this value is going to be different in every single derived class of this class. And it's extremely powerful for when you want to do some very stupid dumb shit that most people would not recommend you to do, but just works. Well, I'm sorry, the language allows me to do it, so I'm going to. Fuck you. Right, so this is so that we have this public class. Did it fuck up the internet connection again? That's odd. I don't know what's going on. Message. Then input message. And we pass it a T self. How the fuck will I? No, it's not gonna be complicated, right? Well, what are you doing, buddy? It's no. God damn it! I don't know if it's OBS that is fucking things up or not. Let me just see if there's some other hogging resources or whatever the fuck. Where's my task manager? There is. Show up, buddy. Don't be shy. Unity, for some reason, is using 100% of the CPU. Fuck you. Yeah, save, but fuck you. What are you doing? Why is it using 100% of the CPU, of the GPU? Dumbass. Let's see. Memory. What the fuck is language server? Is it something related to Rider? Where Rider? Where Rider at? Who the fuck started you? What the fuck are you then? It's JetBrains Rider, yeah. Oh, it's the... Wait a second, did Ryder crash? Ryder crashed. Nice. Why is too open though? That's why I can find Ryder. Fuck you. No, buddy. Fuck you. Bitch ass. The fuck, man? Sometimes. Right. Anything can seem like a bunch of fucking shit for no reason. No. Maybe that's why it was lagging. Unity was using 100% of the GPU. Rider was using almost 10 gigs of memory for who knows what. Unity Hub is still open though, it's fine. I don't know, man, sometimes I think... Oh, I remembered about something very interesting. Apparently, the company that does, the studio that does, Hell, wait a second, is it Hell Riders? Is that the name of it? Yeah. It's my Hell Riders, huh? No, it's not Hell Riders. What the fuck? Hell Divers. God damn it. Hell Riders would be a nice name for a game. Hell Divers 2. They managed to optimize Hell Divers. What was the come on. No, that's not what I want to do. It's fine. Where's the information? La information. Yeah, they managed to reduce the installation size on the PC from 155 gigs to 23 gigs. That's around 85% optimization. Now think about that bullshit. Think about that stupidity. They were making it so that you had... What the fuck is connection lost? Fuck you. Stop complaining. Right, so breakdown. Let's go to the proper page. There we go. It's over there, mate. That's where you belong. They had you install 153 gigs of game, and now it requires 23, right? 23 gigs. Just because they did some optimizations. Fuck you, stop. God damn it. Did I not have connection? Did I lose internet connection? I didn't, it's all working. Fuck me. It's Unity complaining, oh, you don't have a connection, you can't open it. It's just like, fuck you, man. I don't need a fucking internet connection to open a goddamn... Fuck me. So yep, 23 gigs, man. That is just, it's bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers. I mean, I'm used to games that look like Helldivers 2 require only 23 gigs, because that's what makes sense. But when a company, but a studio these days release, where the fuck is Unity Hub? Open up. Money. Money. But when a company these days release a game and just, hey, it's 150 gigs, it's just, sure, most of the time that's what these things are. And it's a slap in the face of all the other companies that just go, but we can't reduce the size of our game. It's just like, money, look at little Helldivers over there. There's no internet connection anymore, right? I'm talking to nothing, right? No sphere is working fine. It's just Unity Hub that being an ass. No, buckets. We're doing it raw. We don't need Unity. It's a code for Unity. Sure. No, I don't think there is a need because as far as I know, this. So I fucking hate to leave them window open. As far as I know, this input message is gonna be entirely different from all other input messages. There's no need to place a tongue in there. So now, what the fuck? Why Unity Hub open again? Activation of the license failed. Fuck you. It was activated previously. Ugh. Try again. Nothing happens. To create and open a project, you need to have an active license. I do have an active license. You bastard. You unable to refresh license. Yep. Thanks. Thanks, mate. It makes me so happy that because of you not being able to refresh a license, you're punishing me. Nice. So lovely. So nice. Fucking kill me. Let's try over again. Opening Unity Hub all over again. Right. Yeah, this input message is going to be entirely different from any other input message. The only thing I need, fuck you, is to do an iMessage thing so that I can send messages using that tongue. And it's basically gonna be I fucking bash this thing. Should I have the message saved? No. Should I use a struct as a message then? Logic dictates that one should. Yeah, let's use a struct as a message. Right, so we now will do something like logic utils var message new inputs. The fuck, man. Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? It's odd. Yeah. The logic utils dot. No, it's because it's wrong. Dumbass, the utils only. And then we do messages dot send. And then we send the message. There we go. That's basically what this class is gonna work. Nope, still didn't manage to get the fucking thing. Let's add a license, maybe. Just click here, free personal license, yada yada. Any day, buddy. Fuck me. Fucking hates me. This thing fucking despises me. Boy. So yeah, the thing now is that we need to check values on the inputs. And we need to do this. Um, Damn it. If input action is not null, this is so easy. Sure, but like for example, if you're used to doing this, nice, fine. The thing is, if someone doesn't know how to use the language, doing is not to know is way more clear. And eventually the person learns that this means, like, that this means is not null as well. If the input action is not null, we're gonna return true, but we also gonna do an input action dot enable dog? We could just pass a reference to the input action itself. It wouldn't be that much of a problem because it's just public get no dumbass input action. It's just in case. Can we just do this? It's just this? No, because that's just dumb, right? Because I will still be using the thing in the inside of it or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, this is dumb. This is stupid. We should use just data, because otherwise, if who knows why one day I decide to not use Unity, I could just grab whatever the fuck is the input message from here and just pass along. And it just works. And I just find another system that will do this working here in whatever the fuck engine I'm gonna use. Should we enable actions by default? That's one of the problems. Because we won't be able to disable these nuts. We would require a way to send no, it's dumb. We don't need to worry if this is enabled or not. We just don't do anything with the message. That's it. Just why use the message? Doesn't make sense. Me thinks that the best way to do this is by using a vector value. Yep. Use a value. No. It's no problem to use a vector 2 in here. Value. And then we do a public bool breast that just does a value. No. It just does a value and Dang, good games. Really with a part of 5 years. How's it going, man? How's it going, everyone? We're just trying to do we were just trying to use the Unity input system in a non-orthodox way, while Unity is not allowing me to open the Unity editor because it's not recognizing the license because it's not connecting. Boy, I don't know why the fuck is Unity not connecting to the license server. Fighting Unity, that's the norm. Yeah, I'm basically trying to. I basically have a kind of a complex custom ECS framework that I built that kind of is supposed to work with Unity, but not really. So right now I'm basically just trying to create an abstract system that will allow me to get access to the input actions from inside of the ECS like framework while just creating a class that has an input name. Like just like this, for example. No, class jump, nope. Jump system, just whatever. Let's see. What was the name of the fucking thing? Is this jump system, and then you just do this, and then as you create this just queries the values from the input system and just sends messages to other systems. That's basically the way it's meant to do things. The only thing that I need to think about now is just which values to pass on. But that's basically what I'm trying to do right now, at least for now. I've spent like a good deal of time because I was streaming in the past week about creating like the beginnings of the custom ECS framework. And the way it's supposed to work is just like simple stuff, context register system, shit just goes. Shit just goes wild and does things. And I noticed that it was taking way too long to do it, and then I just stopped streaming just to finish it, and now I just gonna stream to do the game properly instead of just doing a bunch of ECS bullshit. But what about you? By your name, Dang Good Games, I presume you were streaming software development or something like that as well? I mean, well, I suppose you were doing a game or something, right? Love all this architecture and systems work. Man, this is basically the second framework that I am doing, because the previous one I stayed on it for like 4 or 5 years without doing a single line of code that is related to a game. It was mostly just frameworks, like on and off doing. And then I just got pissed with it because it was like too many things that didn't work. And then I decided to rewrite it from scratch. And then I did it in 2 weeks. It's just way better now. So I need the value from the thing, the pressed value, and a float, I guess. The float would be to be the magnitude of the button, right? I mean, the magnitude value is float, yeah. Yeah, I'm working on Unity on a little roguelite-ish deck breaker game. Deck breaker. Don't have too much to show for you yet, but do have a trailer for my channel. And thanks for following. Excited to see your work and stuff. And nice. Send me the trailer, man. I want to take a look at it. I mean, if it is on your channel, I can just look directly at it. If there's a link in there. Oh, let me see. God damn it, and just copy the fucking link. Right. Let me just fucking, where is it? There it goes. Oh, I've had trouble getting it uploaded to my Twitch for whatever reason. Twitch. Nice. Interesting name. I like the I like the sudden pause at the end. It looks nice, man. It looks interesting. I'm gonna definitely keep a look to it. I'm gonna just save the or just send the link to my regular browser. Let me just put this fucking thing back. I'm gonna keep a look on it, and let me see. When do you often stream? I mean, in the afternoon, pretty much like around this hour, or something like that, or do you stream different hours? Thanks for giving me the watch. I felt like I had to pause after that. Yeah, but that just gave a good comic relief at the end. That was nice. Let me just check the Twitch. Twitch. Where is it? I gotta drop a follow as well because that got me. The trailer by the thing by itself got me interested. Definitely gonna keep an eye on it. When do you typically stream? Normally, I stream for about 3 hours. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and around this time. Yeah. The thing is, I typically stream on these hours as well, but I mostly stream like on every single day. I try. At least I need to try and start again now that I'm gonna try and do like in a month. I normally try to start at 2 p.m. and end around 7 to 8 or something like that. And if I'm going to play something, normally I stream after midnight or around midnight or whatever the fuck. The benefits of being unemployed, isn't that nice? Okay, cool. Be sure to drop in. Okay, nice, man. If I can, like the it being the fact that you are streaming whenever I'm streaming as well, I might every now and then take a look, even while in stream as well, even if it's just like to keep on the side and comment or do something. But your game in itself and the whole atmosphere and vibe got me interested. That's for sure. I'm gonna like let me see. Do you videos? Mm, oh, you have your recent. I'm gonna look later at your most recent stream and just take a look at what you did at least today because it got me interested. The whole the vibes of the thing is interesting. It's nice. Now us for God damn it. There it goes. I mean, man, you have no idea the way I do these things because there's an issue with OBS when you, for example, if you open menus like this, OBS doesn't capture this if you use window capture. So you need to capture your monitor, but I have two monitors and one is for whatever the fuck I'm doing, the main monitor and the second monitor. But whatever is showing up on the screen right now, it's not on any of my two monitors. I am using a virtual monitor right now. It's batshit insane the way I do these things. For example, right now, it's like this. Oh, goddamn, it's not showing up. Fuck. I can't, but Windows is a mess. It bugged out. Let me see if I can do it over here. Is it gonna do the thing if I do it through here? No, it opens on my other window. Let me see if I do like this. Yeah, it does now. This monitor here is a virtual monitor. I can disconnect it through here because it doesn't exist. So all of these windows, this and this, exist now on a monitor that I can't physically see. But the way I do it so that I can see is that I open one of the OBS projections from the, I like isolate the scene, and then I do a projection of the OBS scene that I use on the regular monitor, and that way I can see the third virtual monitor without having to expose and record my main monitor. It's bonkers. It's kind of insanity, and all that just to not record my main monitor. Hey, chill for just a second when it comes into view. Yeah, it's a problem. Yep, totally bonkers. I don't know, man. That's just the problem with all the things so we don't show off for them. Yep, exactly. Because in no way in hell I'm gonna keep the. No way in hell I'm gonna keep the. My main monitor open so that even the secondary monitor I wouldn't use it because I don't trust in it. I don't know if a sudden notification might pop up out of nowhere. Nope. I know that the third monitor is not going to have a thing because there's no way that something is going to pop a notification on a third monitor. On the first one, maybe. Second one, maybe. Third one, no way. It would be nice to have a physical third one, but if the physical one is not there, just make do with the regular one, with the virtual one. Where's my tongue? But yeah, the whole thing with the ECS custom framework is that it's also that I don't, in case one day Unity decides to just go crazy again, just go, hey buddy, everyone needs to pay just for your games to be installed all over again. I can just extract everything and just place in any other engine that supports C#, for like Godot, for example. It's basically saving my ass in anticipation in case Unity becomes greedy as fuck again and decide to hire another EACO. What was the value supposed to be in here? But let me see. You mentioned Deck Breaker. I never saw a game that would be described by that thing, Deck Breaker. I mean, the roguelite part I understand. Deck Breaker. I don't get it. I mean, I understood by seeing the video. I totally made that term up. But now that explains things. Is the bad guy has a deck, you don't, you're actively debuffing and removing cards from the enemy deck. They're actively buffing and improving it. Oh, it's like a reverse Slay the Spire. I never played that game, but I know that there is like a deck and you keep like having cards. It's a reverse Slay the Spire. So you're basically playing you're basically playing the enemy in the. It's similar to how Dungeon Keeper, you are the enemy of the heroes and you're keeping the dungeon from being invaded. But reverse deck builder. Yep. Now it makes sense. Now I understand. Now it's all connected. Let's just name this magnitude. Fucking. Let's be more clear on. Because an input message, it doesn't imply that it's a button message. Nothing in this implies that it's a button. Although the pressed implied that it was pressed, so yeah. Thanks for chatting with me. I'm gonna lurk and wrap up my day. Best of luck with the investors thing. Yeah, man, it was nice. It was interesting knowing about it. Like it's hard for me since I'm not used to watching Twitch. It's hard for me to just open a category and look at it and just find what to watch, but having a direct conversation like this and just knowing something, it's easier for me to just go in there and just look at it. But I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. It feels interesting. Maybe even chat every now and then if possible, because I'm quite sure that there's going to be a day in which I'm not going to be able to stream. And on those days I could watch or whatever. Same, much easier for connection at least. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's way easier to connect when it's direct instead of just looking at the thing and just, oh, what do I do? Or which one do I choose? I just, for now, let's just have magnitude in here. I'll just, it's not a good name. This one would be like for buttons that allow you to press for, what is the name of the goddamn button? Like the shoulder thingies, the shoulder bumpers that you press down, and it's not just a single press, it's just a, fuck me. It's gonna be like that, value on magnitude. Fuck it. That is, no, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's because I'm using an equal, dumbass. Sure, I can access the proper value by magnitude directly, but this is for now, just so that I keep using this value, and then later if I need to change it, change to that value. I think that's a better way to do it. Oh, this song is nice as fuck. God damn it, I never played the game, but I love the song. No. Close the screen. Close the screen. There he goes. There he goes. That works. Drones. D.R. And then having like dots in between the names, the letters is interesting as well. Okay. Okay. If I recall correctly, there is I can use a switching here with the inputs, action. What the fuck are you trying to open in the side? Shut the fuck up. Oh, it restart, it updated for no fucking reason. Right, Unity, you're gonna fucking allow me to open? Nope. It doesn't allow me to open the tongue. God damn it. It's type something. Yeah, it's this one. Right? Input action type. No need to worry, because if it's inside here, it's working. What about ye? What are you complaining? Well, if input action is null, return input action is not null. What are you, fucking crazy? Isn't it just easier to just do a false? Sometimes, man. Oh, this thing is so stupid. Right, yeah, do the cases, possibly complaining that it's missing the default. Well, wait, what? Oh, I see, it's because both are break. What are the values anyway? Button pass through in value. Fuck, I forgot what they all mean. Nope. It isn't the scripting thing, anyway. And the tongue over here, input action. I could go directly to the type, and it's input action type, right? Yeah, sure, I don't see it here. It's weirdly organized. All actions essentially function the same way. There are differences in how an action which react to changes in values of the controls it's bound to. The most straightforward type of behavior is pass through, which does not expect any kind of value change pattern, but simply triggers the action on every single value change. A pass-through action will not use started or cancelled, except on binds that have an interaction added to them. Pass-through actions are most useful for sourcing input from arbitrary many controls and simply piping out input through without much processing on the side of the action. So, if you are insane or something like that. Well, wait a second, we can create input actions? Me liking. This could be even more interesting. Although there's a benefit to having access to the input action itself and allow it to be triggered. I don't know. We could. I could look into that later. Pass-through actions are most useful for sourcing input from arbitrary controls. Yada yada. Input action pass-through, binding, gamepad button, action performed, context, button control, context.control. Button was pressed this frame. The bug log button was pressed. Button was released this frame. Button was released. So there's nothing here that mentions the pass-through or uses the pass-through as an interesting or different thing. It's just as if it wasn't a pass-through. Make calls here in which neither the if nor the else clause are true. What the fuck? A button like the gamepad left and right triggers, for example, do not just have a binary on-off state, but rather a 0-1 value range. And that's why I did the tonguing here with the magnitude. Because I'm just gonna assign the values here and just fuck it. We're gonna have a single vector 2 value that's going to store on the x-axis just the regular value and on the y-axis in case it's xy. Magic. Notice that pass-through actions don't perform the kind of disambiguation. Just give me, this. I just want this. An action that acts as a trigger, but an action has a defined trigger point that corresponds to performed. After being performed, the action goes back to wait. So it's basically the dead. Fuck, if I could open Unity right now, I could show it, but fucking. Ugh, man. I don't know if it's good. Why is still showing up but that you have no connection license? God damn it. Is the license server down? There's no way. Unity license server status. Is there any problem with it? Server status. Are there any news regarding this? Nope. Everything seems to be operational. Unity Hub and stuff is fine. Why the fuck is it not recognizing my license? I'm quite sure they'll have to log off and log in with the account just so that it works again. Stupids. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's waiting state to await the next triggering. Note the button action may still use started and does not necessarily trigger immediately on input. For example, if hold interaction is used, the action will start as soon as the bound button crosses its pressed threshold, but will not trigger until the button is held for the set hold duration. Irrespective of which type an action is set to, it is possible to find out whether was or is considered pressed and are released using is pressed, or was released. Righto, I guess. Well, I need to represent this. We could use a typing here as well. And the type defines what happened and what didn't. Oh, there's a problem though. What happens if the button is held? Because when the button is pressed, it's gonna send a message. Sure, it makes sense. But when the button is held, it's gonna keep sending the same message? It's gonna... Should I use then a unique component that stores the values of all the buttons that we are interested in? And instead of sending messages, we just update the unique components with a new value? That's one way to do things. And instead of having an input message, I have an input data. These initial options, these initial like implementations is always a pain in the ass because you don't know which one you're going to use and which one you're not. I could just do a brute force implementation, just fuck it. The benefit of the message is that I only get it when I'm interested, when it matters. Not when I'm interested, when it matters. So I only get the message when a value has changed and when whatever the fuck needs to be done it just works. So but god damn it, why are you reloading? What the hell is going on there? Just work thing. So Unity Hub, no response? Nothing? Right, so let's try opening the app again. For who knows what reason it's not working. Come on. Come on. Do the tongue. Do the tongue. Nope. Doesn't want to open Unity Hub. Lovely. So lovely. I'm so happy with this. So happy. Smile ear to ear. What the fuck is going on? Unity, open it. Open up. Open up. Doesn't want to open. It's already 8. Normally I finish by 8. It's what? 3 hours? Fuck. But I want to at least finish this fucking thing. After we have the input way that it will work. Let's see how. So there's the and then there's the value. A value is like an XY value thingy. Think about if it's connected source. Multiple bind is activated at the same time, prefers the migration, blah blah, to detect the highest value contributor at any one time. Makes sense. So in case you press the button on the keyboard and on the controller at once, it just gets the highest value. Value action starts and then performs as soon as a bound control changes to a non-default value. For example, if an action is bound to left stick and the stick moves from 0.0 to 0.5.0.5, the action starts and performs. After being started, the action will perform on every value change. Yeah, that's what we checked on the thing. But it's not the default value in the example here, which is 0.0. If the stick goes to 0.75 and to 1.1, the action will perform twice. Yeah. Finally, if we control the value changes back to, finally, if the control value changes back to the default value, the action is cancelled. Meaning that if the stick moves back to 0.0, cancel with trigger. Yeah, that's what we found. So if it's a button, it only has like simple interactions. But I wonder if I could open, can I just directly open Unity and just say a fuck you to it? Is it going to allow me to? I'm quite sure that I can call the Unity editor by itself while bypassing the hub. But if I'm having an issue with the license server for who knows what reason, it should work? Yes? No. You work. You work. Yep, for some reason, not even Unity wants to open. Oh boy, I don't know what the fuck there is. Where is the message? The pointless tongue. The connection with the Unity licensing client has been lost. Great. Retry. Nothing's gonna happen. Oh, song, man. Let me look at the values. Don't care what all this other shit. I care the values. Give me the values. Yeah, the action map. It belongs to the active control. Yada, active value type. Crank expected. No wild actions in waiting. I think I understand binding mask makes sense. Bindings, which is the buttons, enables, makes sense. Expected control type. And this action. No by default. Stable unique identifier for the action. Huh. Could it be that we can use the ID to find an action by... To use Unity, you must have an active license. Please download the Unity Hub and activate your license. Fuck you. It's installed, you dumbass. It's literally running right now. Is it maybe an issue with my... there's a Unity license client in here. Could it be that this is the fucking shit that is... There's a not... The fuck, man? There's a bunch of Unity processes lost around. You're doing fuck all. What is the issue? Where is it? There's a bunch of Unity licensing clients that are open. Even though there is no Unity editor, there's no Unity hub, there's no nothing open. Could it be that one of these processes grabbed the connection and it's not releasing and it's not allowing Unity hub to connect to the licensing server? We'll figure this out right now. Doesn't look like it is, because otherwise Unity hub would have been open already. I don't want to just disable my entire firewall just to check this fucking thing is working on. Ugh. Interactions apply to every binding on the action. We could have a message, like an input message for disabling the tongue, and then we have a system that listens to input disable messages, and then we pass the name of the tongue that we want to disable and just, hey, it doesn't work anymore, and it just does disable the thing. Could be one way to enable and disable the bots, because I'm quite sure that there is, what is the name? There is, fuck, what's the name? There is, behind the scenes, there is there's some querying happening while the input action is enabled. The current phase of the action for a call, it's the performed, cancel, start, whatever, yeah. Processors, triggers. See also, was performed this frame is equivalent to was performed this frame, right? The behavior type, which is the, if I recall correctly, it's the button value and whatever the fuck, right? Yep. Don't care for pass-through, not gonna use that shit. Once initial state check, fuck you, don't care, clone, disable, dispose, enable, get control magnitudes, Unity light, god damn it. I thought it was gonna be right now, but nope. Ugh. Let me sign out. Just go back to the regular tile. I'm signing again. Maybe fucked up my account or something. Because man, it kind of is complex for you to try and program with Unity when you can't even open the fucking... don't like this. When I try to open the thing, it just says that my account doesn't exist. Ugh. Fuck me. Is it because I changed the... I think I changed the email. Seems like it. That's it. No, don't complain. It's just, no, don't complain. Opening Unity. No. God damn it. Fuck, I'm gonna have to change things later again. Get the license. Refresh and get the license for me. God damn it, doesn't want to get a license. I don't know what's going on. Can't open Unity. Because it doesn't check the license for some reason. Maybe closing, opening again. Will make the tongue work. Though I don't believe. That's such a pain in the arse. With the current amount of actuation of the control that's driving this action. This is one of the things that I'm interested in the value thing in case it's a button. I presume that when it's a button, the control magnitude is either 0 or 1 for situations into which it's just a button press, and magnitudes don't make sense for a topic controls. Controls that have no meaning for magnitude we return -1 and count is mounted. Fuck you, I guess. That's stupid. -1 is the control activated, but does not support computing magnitudes. That's stupid. That is stupid. Any negative magnitude value should be considered an invalid value. Magnitude returned by actions. These are determined by the input control that triggered the action, i.e. by the control reference for an active control. So there are certain types of controls that return magnitude. And I will see which ones of them are if I could fucking open Unity. Penny running on the current interaction. Nope. It's not it. It's in progress whether the action has been started or performed. Is this useful? We could use this to check if we should send a message or not. Check whether the current actuation of the action has crossed the button press thresholds. Or maybe this one has not yet fallen back below the release threshold. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be this one. The difference in simple reading the action's current float. There it goes, Unity Hub. Show up in front of my window again. Just to show that the license is not there. Damn it. Because the current level actuation might have already fallen below the press threshold, but might not yet have reached the release threshold. That works with any type of action, not just buttons. Also note that because this operates on the results of evaluate magnitudes, it works with many kinds of controls, not just buttons. For example, if an action is bound to stick control, the control will be considered pressed once the magnitude of the vector 2 of the controls cross the press threshold. I like this song, but there's vocals. God damn it. It distracts me. I mean, Rules of Nature has... Oh, Deja Vu is fucking... Yeah, sure. Nice, but don't have vocals on it. Some vocals don't distract me, like Rules of Nature, for example, and the Smells of the Game one. Because there's so much noise that it just like blends in between. Right, because this operates as a result of evaluating magnitude, works with many kind of controls, not just buttons. For example, if an action is bound to a stick control, the control will be considered pressed, once the magnitude of vector 2 of the control has crossed the press threshold. Finally, now the custom button press points of control, see press point are respected, and will take precedence over the default button press point. I'm looking at things and seeing that the evaluate magnitude is going to be more useful than anything else. It's gonna basically be, hey, evaluate the magnitude. If it's 0, don't do fucking anything. If it's bigger than 0, do something. Disable actions will always return false on this method, even if a control bounds to the action is currently pressed. Also, re-enable an action will not restore the state to when the action was disabled, even if the control is still actuated. Oh, I see. If I hold the button and the button was disabled, and then I enable the button, it doesn't count as being pressed. Interesting. Now the read value is to see the tongue. Use an alternative to hooking to start performing the or cancel and reading out the value using read value there. Instead, this API acts more like a polling API that can be called, for example, as part of non-behavior updates. Move vector controls the gameplay that move read value. Oh, gotcha. So it basically returns, I thought that this could return null in case it was empty. So it's gonna return a valid, like it's gonna return a valid vector because it's a struct that needs to return a 0, but if the action has button-like behavior, then triggered is usually a better alternative to reading out a float and checking if it's above the button press point. Gotcha. So just using this is not a good idea because it might not be above the press point. Reject the action, stream was completed as dynamic update. Check whether phase transition from performed to any other phase value at least once in the mono behavior update cycle rendering frame. Unlike was completed as frame, this method will return true only if the input system was updated and the action was completed in the current dynamic update cycle, in between the previous and the current frame. This can be used in dynamic update if the update mode is set to process events fixed update or process events manually. If the update mode is set to process events dynamic updates, method will behave exactly was completed as frame. If I recall, there's an option in the settings that controls this, and that's what is possibly referencing that. Check whether phase transition from perform to any other phase value at least once in the current frame. Wait a second. I know if it's still performed. Yeah, it makes sense. It's basically, hey, did it went to cancel or waiting? It's performed. I presume that this can be used to check if the button is still being held or something like that. In that manner, similar to dynamic update in this frame as well. Let's press this dynamic update now. Let's press this frame. Any type of action, not just buttons. If an action is bad to stick control, the control will be considered press once the magnitude of the vector 2 of the control has crossed the press threshold. Finally, note that custom button press points of controls, the press point are respected and will take precedence. It's weird because this input system has so many redundant methods for who knows what reason. It's like way too many redundant methods. I keep wondering why the fuck so many options for was pressed. Like, for example, isn't was pressed this frame the same thing as is pressed? Like, what is the difference? whether the current actuation of the action has crossed the button press threshold, see default button press point, and has not yet fallen back below the release thresholds. So you press the button. Good. You press the button, but it was not released yet. Which makes sense. That's what is pressed means. It means that the button is pressed. And it explains that it's different from reading just the evaluate magnitude because it takes into consideration the press threshold. Which makes sense. Now, was pressed this frame seems to do the same thing. Returns true if the action's value crosses the press threshold at any point in the frame. Oh, at any point in the frame. I think that's the difference. I got it. I understand that. Let's say that the frame is being calculated. I think... No, that's too stupid. It is still stupid. The is pressed seems to imply that if before the start of the frame, if the button was not pressed, it doesn't count, even if you manage to press in between the frame. While the calculations for, like, let's say there is a on a 60 FPS game, normally there is like 16 milliseconds of execution in a 60 FPS game. If before the first execution of update, you didn't press the button, I believe that is pressed is going to show as being turned off. I think I can test this. Yes, I think I can test this. You know how? It's gonna be... Oh, I can't test it because fucking Unity doesn't work. God damn it. But I'm gonna write the test regardless. The way I see that is we do a var pressed equals move dot is pressed, and then we do this, and then we do a breakpoint in here, and then we do var just do pressed again equals move dot was pressed this frame. What are you complaining about? I don't care. Right. Wart. Oh, that is the dynamic update. That's the difference. It's not the was pressed this frame. It's the was pressed this dynamic update. See, this one has also vocals, but it doesn't bother me for some reason. There's way too much noise in between. There are some songs that the vocals are the most important part, so the instrumentals are lower, but there are some songs where the instrumentals are as high as the voices, but the voices have a modulation that makes them seem like they are instruments, and those don't bother me. Don't distract me. Yeah, I think that's the difference, but I still believe there was press this frame. But then it implies at any point in the frame. And this was pressed this dynamic update is the press threshold in the mono behavior update cycle. We're gonna test the three of them. Not on you. Pressed. No, it's the dynamic tongue. There it goes. So by checking these, we can see what, like for example, I'm gonna enter this frame and then breaking here, and then I'm gonna hold the button. And as I hold the button, I advance the breakpoint to the next one. And it's going to compute this one. If pressed is true, it means that it detects even mid frame. And I think that the only one that is going to be able to do this one is this one. This one is going to be, I think, the same value as this pressed. And I'm quite sure that both of these values are the same fucking thing. They imply to be the same thing. But it's weird. Can I, since it's a package, I'm quite sure that I can go inside of it. Yeah. So this press getter creates action map. State, it gets the state. If it's not null, action state pointer, state, action state, yada yada. Returns action state pointer is pressed. The internals of this is bonkers. The fact that they're using pointers. Right, what about this one? So it gets the state, it gets the action state pointer, but there's this different thing in here. There's a current update step in between. It has a pressed in update, equal current update step, and current update step, not equal to default. Sure. So it's clearly different. It does something different, but why? No, bollocks, I'm using the wrong one. It's not this one. It was pressed, you dumbass. See, that's the problem when you pay attention to the fucking thing. When you don't pay attention to what the fucking AI is recommending. It's the same fucking thing as this pressed. Although there's a frame pressed equal expected frame in there. It's minorly different. This is just is pressed. What is this there? It's basically checking a flag at a bit. Why? There's no problem. Nothing complex or whatever the fuck. But it's nice to see that there's difference thing. Expected frame. Used by the was this frame matters below. When processing events manually, the event processing will happen when processing events manually, the event processing will happen one frame later. So the only reason why that methods that was this is from the was pressed this frame, right? No, it's not this one. It's the was pressed in this dynamic updates. It's the expected frame. I need to understand those first. But it seems like is pressed is viable for whatever, I guess. No. If put action dot is pressed, shut the fuck up. It's no one. Nope. Then we turn. So if the button's not pressed, we return. The problem is that we'll have to be checking this fucking every fucking thing. But still. Events would be nicer, but you know. Although now that I think about it, I could just hook the event on the performed. And make the perform send the input message instead of querying on every one line, right? Because the performed is always called when the event changes. Now that I understand better how it works. So what we would do is just do initializing here. The only thing that will be happening is just the event is initialized. So it's just as it's performed, it's generating messages or whatever the fuck. Instead of checking which button it is, which whatever the fuck it is. And it will depend on the message. Yeah, I think it's a better. It feels like it's better. Although I hate how they do this. I absolutely hate how this is done. Let's create a method. Put action. Oh, I despise how this created a name. Put action performs. Let's just have it unperformed. It's a specific to this, so it's just doesn't matter. What we doing if policy got paused, return, nothing happens because it's paused. We check the execution on the inside of the tongue, mostly because the execution is happening inside the tongue. What info do we have right here? Performed is true, I presume. Duh. Oh, I get it. It's because they are using a single. Oh, I see. It's mostly so that we can connect all of the. I'm quite sure that we can do this. No. Started plus equal on performed. Yep, that's why. So that we can hook all of the values, all of the events to a single method. Weird, but I can see why. I'd rather have one specific to each one, so that I won't have like switches inside of it. It's just like, hey, test is the one. So the information that we have is that the thing was performed, so there is a value inside of it somehow. Although I still need switches for which type of button. Maybe not. Oh yeah, read values button. I understand. It's press and no press. It was the read value, right? That's read the current value of the controller that's driving this action. If no bond controls actually returns the default value, but note the binding processes are always applied. This method can be used as an alternative to hooking into started, performed, and or canceled, and reading out the value using read value there. Instead, this API acts more like a polling API that can be called, for example, yeah. The actions button-like behavior then triggered is usually a better alternative to reading out a float. Fuck. And checking if it's above the button press point. So the read value doesn't check if it's above the. Why? Is there no Duration is interesting. Interaction. Phase, start time, value size in bits. The value type. I hate how there is no read value that takes into account the press point. Just despise it. I absolutely hate it. No, I presume that the performed, let me see. The performed already takes, yeah, the unperformed already takes into account if it only triggers when the action has been fully performed. Yeah, and quite sure that it only triggers that one when in general, when an action starts receiving input, it will go to start, and then when it stops receiving input, it will go to cancel. When performed is used depends primarily on the type of action. Value will trigger performed whenever the value of the control changes, including the first time, i.e., it will first trigger started and then performed right after. Whereas button will trigger performed as soon as the button press threshold's default button press point has been crossed. So the button mentions as soon as the button press threshold press point has been crossed, which means that the performed doesn't take into account the press point. Value will trigger perform whenever the value of the contour changes. I don't like this. The action has been performed, leads to performed getting called. By default, a button action performs when a control crosses the button press threshold, referred to default button press points. A value action performs on any value that changed that isn't the default value, and a pass-through action performs on any value change, including going back to the default value. Yeah, it seems like value doesn't take into account the threshold. Although I can't even see value has a threshold because Unity doesn't fucking open. Thanks, Unity. This is a mess, not being able to open the fucking thing just because the... Which means that you can't code on it if you have no internet connection, right? What if I don't have internet connection and I want to code shit? Is it not gonna let me? I hate when it's named like this. Let's just give me a proper name like context or whatever the fuck. I hate when he uses object. If the thing is able to just pass me the thing, just use the default name, just put callback context or whatever the fuck. Right, so there's no documentation being shown, as usual. What happens if you read a button press value was vector 2? It would be nice to be able to test this. It would be very nice to test this thing and see if it works or not. Man, I having some weird instability on the stream. What the fuck? 3 moments. That's odd. Okay, it's being stable. There it goes. Right, so... It's because it's not through the message manager, you dumbass. It's through the messages. There we go. Well, should do something. Is it the correct thing to do? Don't believe so. But at least we are not querying every single time. Why the fuck are you complaining? What's your problem? Ah, it's not implementing execute. Right. Let me just do this. Policy. No. Policy dot count equals 0. And we can just do an execute. We'll need to do that one too. And we do an execute. Why complain? Oh, because it's not a proper one. We need to do this is a phase one? Yeah, it's a logic utils because I didn't change the name. And over here we just do there we goes. And it means that it's empty. So now this one stops complaining. So this one just means that if it tries to execute, it's not gonna do shit. Even though if it executes, it's not gonna do shit. Get the action, no actions false. Although no, it doesn't matter because if it's false, it's going to go into the system manager. If it doesn't initialize, it's gonna hey buddy, it wasn't initialized, and I can look what the fuck wasn't initialized. Right, now we come on. There we go, and this is an example of a peer system. And we could further change things by doing this. Unity inputs. And we do like this, and we just do it like no. Do this, and then we just do go down here and just should work. Yep. And over here, we just change this to system. So in case we need to change this in some way or add other specific systems, this can just work. Now that I think about it, having the initialization methods, no, I still need the start one. There's one that has the start one somewhere. Right, now that we... What was it changing? Oh, yeah, the inputs in here. And it's after timers. Which means that we don't need the game loop order here to have inputs. No, we still need it because it's a different type of input. I think. Yeah, it's a different type of input. It would be nice if we just change it then and name it input handling. No, dumbass. I hate this. Sometimes just selects the entire file name. Should be fine. What are you complaining? Whitos. Fuck me, Whito. Reese, motherfucker. Reese. And I was not complaining, man. If I close you, and if I open you again, it's not gonna blame. Fuck. What was the change that I did? It's a namespace provider, that was the problem. I accidentally said, do not introduce the functioning. There we go. So it would work is that now we have glue system, the input. So you have something like a public class jump input. Don't complain. That's because it's not that, it's this. Get the proper type. There it goes. And as long as we pass this to something, it works. Yep. It's a shame that I can't test it. I know it works, but I can't test it. Because the license does not want to fucking work. What does the contact support lead to? Wait a second, sign me in. It should show my license on the... Yeah. Whatever, just fucking do the top. It should show my license on the license that I have access to on the Unity website. Come on. Manage accounts. Come on, mate. Anytime. Any other time. Account settings, public, marketing, Unity accounts. I don't want to permanently delete my thing. Back to the dashboards. Could it be administration? Subscriptions? No. Is there seriously no location here where there's a IEDZ license, mate? You're fucking kidding me. Oh, I can see information about ads. That's important. Is it because I'm in the... No, it doesn't matter. Organization members, secrets. Not secrets, I'm quite sure about it. Nope. Groups, SSOs, service accounts. Definitely not it. No webhooks, no subscriptions. Nope. Not billing. No cost any usage. No nothing. There's no nothing anywhere. There's literally zero information about what my license is anywhere. And there is no location into where I can see whatever the fuck. The accounts, the editor, and the asset store. Nope. Let me look into the Unity Discord. Are there any people getting pissed? No? No one complaining. I fucking despise the Unity. There's no announcements, man? The Unity Discord is just like a fucking echo chamber of weird shit. Let's go to that. And yeah, it doesn't seem like there is anyone complaining. It seems like this is a me issue. This is a me problem. This song as well. Again, vocals, but the vocals are so mixed. No, I think I'm gonna end for here. I think it should be enough. It's not as much as I wish to do today, but it's enough. While I'm not streaming, I think I'm gonna keep. I think that's how I'm gonna do things. During streaming, I'm gonna do game code. Outside streaming, I'm gonna try and fix ECS issues and implement more functionalities in Shia. Because there are some times in which I want to program something and the brain just goes, dude, program. And I can't. Because I think, but it's not gonna be on stream. Man, this should be enough. 3 hours, almost 4 hours. I could just wait around, but it's just not gonna. Doesn't give me. I don't see any benefit out of keeping. I mean, it's not like I gain anything for going after 4 hours or something like that, besides just the personal whatever the fuck. But yeah. Very little, although the input system is just being a pain in the ass to relearn, because back when I used it was definitely not like this. Not like this at all. It was way different. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. And don't know if you're still here, but thanks, dang good games. I forgot your name. God damn, I'm so bad with names. I need to rewatch the thing to check the name again. But thanks for rating. Thanks for the conversation. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on the thing because it seems considerably interesting. It seems like an interesting game, and most importantly, it would be interesting to see how he does things, how he's doing things on the inside. Yeah, I'm gonna go see, and possibly no. I don't think there will be a stream later. Not having a functioning mouse just fucks a lot of things because I can't play a bunch of games that rely on your mouse working properly. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a bunch of me cursing at the fucking game and fighting the game itself. But yeah, gonna go see you.